All righty, guys. We'll give everyone a couple seconds here to get connected and get joined up with the program. Yeah, because when we go live, I don't know, when you join a live broadcast, does it bring you in at the live mark or does it bring you in like at the beginning? I don't know. Right now it says I don't have anyone listening yet. So I'm not, now it says four. So four of you joined simultaneously. I'm not sure. So I don't know if you hear everything from the very beginning or if I have to stall like I'm doing to get some people connected and then I can continue. I have no idea. All right. So we got some stories that we didn't get to today. But before we go into that, so I'm sitting at the movie theater and we're at Alamo. So at the Alamo Theater, you can't have your cell phone out when the movie starts, right? And so I'm going through and we're churning out the emails to all 24,000 customers and people are unsubscribing. And I get an alert when people unsubscribe because sometimes I get emails from people who are like, how many times do I have to unsubscribe from this piece of junk? And I can look back and say, you didn't hit the unsubscribe link. So then I can actually, when they reply back to me like that, I can scroll down and tap the link for them and then unsubscribe them from the list so that they get unsubscribed. And so I get a report. So I'm going and I take out my phone and I look at it. And the very top email says Ursula has been unsubscribed from your mailing list. And I have a little girl who likes The Little Mermaid, and I'm like, this has to be Ariel's doing. This is foul indeed. Ursula is no longer a fan. Ursula doesn't want to hear our important marketing communications. Bah! Ursula doesn't want to win a laptop. She's not going to vote for us in the Best of Omaha. So anyway, you are now Ursula free, everybody. All right, so going forward here, what do we got next? A recent Windows 0-day vulnerability used by Bootrap, or Butrap, B-U-H trap, Butrap, the Butrap gang. If I'm going to make a gang, I'm not going to call it the Butrap gang. B-U-H-T-R-A-P, but I'm going to say Butrap, okay? It's the Butrap gang for cyber espionage. An obscure hacker group known as the Butrap gang is actually behind a recent Windows operating system vulnerability that was exploited in the wild. Slavic antivirus maker ESET, the company who discovered the ongoing attack, said the 0-day was being used to conduct cyber espionage. Microsoft patched it this week in their Patch Tuesday update. So heads up, if you want protection from this, make sure that your computer has downloaded its Windows updates, and once that's done, make sure you restart your computer to install them. A lot of times, most of your computers actually have probably already downloaded and installed these updates, but they were waiting a restart. So just take a moment when you're done with the AfterSchrock today to restart your computer. Just restart it for the love of it. I tell my customers, make sure that you leave your computer on 1 day a week. You can pick the day, but leave it on at least all night, 1 day a week, preferably on Thursdays, okay? The reason I pick Thursday is because for those of you who turn your computer off when you're done using it, you're never giving the computer time to do the automated tasks it needs to do to take care of itself. Downloading Windows updates, for example, or doing antivirus scans, or if you have a mechanical hard drive, defragmenting that drive. Don't defragment your solid-state drives. It doesn't do anything for speed, and it actually wears out the drive. Excuse me, I hit the cough button like I'm not on this microphone. Doesn't do any good. If I was on the radio, you wouldn't have heard that. But so anyway, make sure that 1 day a week you let the computer stay on all night, or all day, or just for an extended period of time, okay? That'll allow it to install its updates, do its restarting, do all the stuff it's got to do. Otherwise, after about 2 weeks, the computer gets a little glitchy, and it's going to try to do those things while you're using it, which makes your computer run like a dog. It's going to run super slow. We don't want that, okay? So basically, this vulnerability will be patched once you do your Windows update and reboot, so it's important to make sure that you get that done. In the meantime, Brazil is at the forefront of a new type of router attack. More than 180,000 routers in Brazil have had their DNS settings changed. So what does this mean? Your router is the device in your house with the antennas on it. Or sometimes your router is built into your modem, your cable or your DSL modem. The router is what allows you to have wireless connectivity and have multiple devices in your house connected to one internet connection. Without a router to route the traffic to all the different devices, you could only hook up one device directly to your cable modem or your DSL modem, one computer. You couldn't have your computer, your laptop, your TV, your phone, all these devices the router does is it takes that internet signal and it assigns in-house, in-home, or in business addresses to each device in the network, and then basically allows them to switch their internet use as required to meet their needs. It splits the internet. It's a splitter, okay? The problem is the router can be configured in such a way to use different online services that can result in security breaches. And so when a bad guy attacks your router, he is going to have your router send its traffic all through his data point so he can monitor all of your stuff. So in other words, he takes your private at-home router and makes it like an airport or a Starbucks router, but you don't know. So that's one of the reasons why you need to make sure you update the firmware in your router on a regular basis. We talked a little bit about this earlier in the radio show, but you log into your router. So first of all, how do you log into your router? Your router has an address on your network. The address is going to start off with like 192.168.something.something. It's usually .0.1 or .1.0. You can Google the brand of your router, like D-Link router IP address, and it'll tell you what the IP address is to access your router. That's going to take you to a username and password page. Unless you've changed the username and password, which you should do, the username and password will be something like admin password or password or admin. Again, when you Google it, D-Link default password, it'll tell you what the default password is. So now you know what the default password is. Now you can enter that, and then you can get in, and then under the maintenance, there'll be a firmware thing, and you can check for firmware. Okay? It's different for every router. That's why I can't give you a specific set of instructions on how to do it for your router. We can do this over the Schrock desk for you. We can do this in your home. So these are things we can assist you with. The Schrock desk gets a little dicey because when we update your firmware, the router has to reboot. And when the router reboots, we lose the internet connection to you. So you lose your connection to us for a short time. And if something goes sideways during that process, we have no way to connect back to you. So it's a little dicey over the Schrock desk, but we're willing to do it if you're willing to let us do it. So anyway, Brazil is at the forefront of a new attack. 180,000 routers in Brazil have had their router addresses changed. The attacks are nearly invisible to end users and can have disastrous consequences, having the ability to lead to direct financial losses for hacked users. That's you in Brazil anyway right now. But this can happen just as easily in the United States or anywhere else. What's currently happening to the routers in Brazil should be a warning sign for users and internet service providers all over the world who should take precautions to secure devices before the attacks observed in South American countries spread to their countries as well. The attacks are targeting routers in Brazil, and they started last summer. They were first observed by a cybersecurity firm, and a month later by other security researchers who were hunting for Chinese cybersecurity threat. At the time, the two companies described a group of hacker criminals had infected over 100,000 home routers in Brazil and were modifying DNS settings, which we've explained what that is. The modifications made to those routers redirected the infected users to malicious clone websites whenever they try to access e-banking sites for Brazilian banks. Okay, so once I have control of your DNS settings, the DNS, the domain name service, is what allows you to type in facebook.com instead of the Facebook IP address, which no one knows, okay? So facebook.com is then changed. The domain name is changed. The domain name service does that into the IP address that sends you to the appropriate computer on the internet to bring you facebook.com. If I control the DNS service, I can send you to whatever website I want when you type facebook.com. I can send you to faceblock.com, for example, that looks just like Facebook. And you might enter your username and password there, and then it'll give you an error and then redirect. You know how it reloads the page when you type your password wrong? Well, you'll type your username and your password, then the page reloads, but when the reload happens, I take you to the regular facebook.com, and then you type in your password again. And you're in, and you're like, oh, I must have typed it wrong. You didn't type it wrong. You just gave the bad guys your password. And so that's how they can steal your banking passwords. And so that's why this is such a big threat. This is why you need to take router security seriously. My home router had an update in the last week as well. So the Omaha router had one. The home router had one. Lots of routers having updates this week. Okay, this time around, beside hacking visiting Brazilian banks, hackers were also redirecting users to phishing pages for Netflix, Google, and PayPal to collect their credentials. But according to a report published by Avast this week, the attacks haven't stopped. In fact, according to the company, in the first half of 2019, the hackers have infected and modified the DNSs for over 80,000 additional Brazilian routers. So I've basically told you how it happens, crypto jacking, all this other stuff. There's all kinds. Once they have control of this, they can pretty much do anything they want with your internet connection. So it's really, really important to make sure that your router's password, or security software is up to date. So if you have your own router, if you have like a cable modem or a DSL modem, and then a separate box that is your router, which is the ideal setup because it allows you to control your own security. If that's your setup, you're responsible for checking for those security updates. If your device is an all-in-one, so if Cox or CenturyLink or Spectrum or Allo has given you a single device that is a Wi-Fi modem and router built together, a Wi-Fi router and modem together in one device, they are responsible for updating the firmware in that device. And they will do it at their convenience, which is not necessarily at your convenience, which is why I recommend that you get yourself your own router so you can control your own security future. Okay. So anyway, that's the gist of that story there. I know that's super exciting stuff, guys. Let me check for questions here real quick. Brings in at the live mark. You have to watch later if logged on late. Okay, gotcha. So if you join late, you miss a lot. I'm just saying. All right. Hello. What is the status of the surge protectors? I prepared on May 11th. All right, Mark. The status on the surge protectors is they are officially all in stock and delivered, or in stock and waiting for pickup. So if you have one that you did not receive a call on, let me take a look here. Do we have a work order for you, Mark, for a surge protector? I do not. So nobody marked your work order. You're from Grand Island, so I guess, did you, let me know, call the service center after 12 noon today. Let them know that you're missing your surge protector. We do have a couple extras in stock that we can set aside one for you or get you one. You're from Grand Island, so I'm not sure if we're supposed to ship it to you or not. That's why I'm asking. I don't want you to have to put all that in the Facebook chat and everything. So go ahead, give us a call in the service center. We open today at noon, and we'll get you all taken care of on that. It looks like a work order was not created. When the surge protectors went on back order, the staff is supposed to create a work order for each person who orders one. And as a result, if you didn't get a work order, we didn't fill the order, which is why the one you bought on May 11th hasn't been filled yet. We filled the last of the back orders actually this week that we had on file. So if anybody else is missing a surge protector that ordered one, let us know and we'll get you taken care of. All right. Good morning, Carolyn. Hey, no problem. Yeah, Kaylin came back and talked with me about what was going on with your daughter's phone and the endpoint stuff. And I'm like, I've never seen that before, but the easiest thing to do is we have to do a test. We got to remove endpoint, see if the problem persists, and then reinstall endpoint so you can reset your pattern. So that was one of those things. Like I said, the Semantic Endpoint Mobile is an amazing product. It is clearly the best out there. But the mobile product is new, and there are going to be some glitches because the thing with computers, guys, is your computer doesn't change very quickly, every 6 months at most. And there's basically two operating systems, right? There's Windows and there's Apple, and that's it. Now, when you have all the cell phones, all of a sudden you have 15, 20 different brands of phones, and they all have their custom Android blend, and Semantic Endpoint has to try to be compatible with all of them at the same time. It gets to be a little cumbersome. So we're going to see some quirks, especially on different phone types, but as they work through those, we're going to get through those quirks and it's going to be fine. So if you have those kind of things happening on your device, just let us know and we'll be happy to get you taken care of. All righty, let's see. Next story up. Academics steal data from air-gapped systems via keyboard LEDs. All right, so for those of you, like the gentleman who called, just said he was at the tail end of the baby boomer generation and he doesn't trust technology. This is how we're going to take old school Morse code and blend it in a unique way with new technology to steal data from air-gapped systems. So here's what we do. We have to infect the computer with a flash drive or some piece of equipment connected to the air-gapped computer, because an air-gap means it's not connected to the internet, right? So we have to infect the computer first. And once the computer is infected with a virus, very much like what was done to the Iranian centrifuge computers, they were all air-gapped, and all of a sudden they all got infected. Somebody smuggled in some device and plugged it into the computer that launched that infection. So you have to start there. You have to get an infection in the building somehow. Then once the computer is infected, on your keyboard, on your desktop keyboard, you'll have like a numlock key, a caps lock key, and some other key, a function lock key. There's three lights typically. And what this virus does is it makes those lights blink in binary sequences. And as the lights blink rapidly, it's actually, well, they're blinking very rapidly, but from a communication standpoint, it's a very slow bandwidth conversation. So a human is not going to pick up the blink. You're going to see the lights blinking, but you're not going to figure out what it's saying. So then what the attacker has to do is they have to have some other device, like a phone with a camera or a watch camera. They're standing next to it. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm filming these keys. And then they take that recording and it can be later interpreted and steal the information from the air gap system. So if you want to hack an Iranian centrifuge computer, that might be the only way you can do it. If you want to hack somebody else's computer at home, it's probably not worth it. But yes, you can hack air-gapped computers using the LEDs on the keyboard, and they are it's got its own cute little name, the Control-Alt-LED virus. Control-Alt-LED instead of Control-Alt-Delete, get it? This one's a little bit more concerning. For those of you who are fans of The Matrix, you're going to recognize Agent Smith. Remember Agent Smith? New Android malware replaces legitimate apps with ad-infested doppelgangers. The new Agent Smith malware operation is preparing to invade the Google Play Store. A new Android malware strain has been discovered that can infect devices and replace legitimate apps with clones that show a deluge of ads for a criminal group's profits. The malware, named Agent Smith, has made over 25 million victims, according to a report shared with ZDNet. This is from ZDNet before the publication. The vast majority of victims are currently located in Bangladesh and Pakistan, and most users remain infected for a period of at least 2 months before they figure out they're infected. Checkpoint, that discovered the malware earlier this year, tracked its operators to a Chinese tech company located in the city of Guangzhou. So the company, researchers said, operates a front-end legitimate business that helps Chinese Android app developers publish and promote their apps on overseas platforms. However, Checkpoint said it found apps for job roles that were consistent with the operating of the Agent Smith malware, and infrastructure had no connection to the company's real business. So the job listings were posted in 2018. So in other words, somebody from this company or the company itself is making the malware in China, and they're pushing it out worldwide. Now, here's the thing. If you're following tech news, one of the things that really scared the pants off of China was that the United States can literally, with a whim, say you can no longer use Android in your smartphones. And Huawei's smartphone business would be destroyed overnight because the only operating systems made for smartphones are actually made in America. So that's Apple's iOS and the Android operating systems, all made in America. So yesterday, Huawei made a surprise announcement that by August, so in other words, by next month, so in 2 months' time, they have crafted and engineered a replacement to the Android operating system, and they will be releasing a local native Chinese operating system for smartphones that will take the place of Android in the Chinese market. So this is a punch in the face to Google, because they're going to basically cut Google off from all these people, because the Chinese government has considerable sway, to say the least, with Huawei. My guess is Huawei handsets will all offer the new operating system as quickly as possible. And because Huawei is the most popular handset phone in Europe and in the East, basically, that's going to cut off a huge chunk of the world to the American smartphone market. Because the smartphones, is the Samsung Galaxy now going to have to test its smartphone to work with Chinese operating systems? Well, yeah, they're going to have to do that, unless they want to completely negate their phones in the entire Chinese market and cede everything to Huawei. So it's a power play going on. And as a result of that, the one positive thing that I can take from this is maybe the Chinese malware companies will find it easier, because that's the thing, you're launching a new, it's not just launching a new operating system. So your Android operating system is going away, and you're replacing it with this new Chinese-made operating system. The problem is all the apps. So that's great. I have an operating system. I have this wonderful phone, this wonderful piece of tech, but I can't do anything with it. And so now you're trying to develop an entire app ecosystem in a 2-month period. It's not going to go well. It's going to be rough at first. But if this is allowed to get steam and take over, it could be a serious competitor to Apple's iOS or Android and the App Store or the iTunes Store. We're talking about a huge potential revenue loss here. It's something to keep your eyes on, just a heads up. So now, if you've been following this thing with Facebook, Facebook wants to launch a cryptocurrency called Libra. Cryptocurrency, first of all, everybody feels that cryptocurrency is really hard to understand. I'm gonna break it down for you in something that's really easy to understand. Okay, cryptocurrency is a number in your phone, just like when you log into your bank account. That's a number on your screen or your computer or your phone's screen, right? And you can put dollars into your bank account and your number goes up. And you can write checks and use your debit card and the number goes down, okay? So cryptocurrencies are like having other currencies that aren't dollars, that are numbers on a screen that can be traded for dollars. They can be sold and bought for dollars, just like you can go to the bank and say, I'm going to Germany, I'd like some euros, please. And you can exchange your dollars for euros. Except with cryptocurrency, you don't have to involve a bank. You can trade your euro, your cryptocurrency, your Bitcoin, your Ether, whatever you've got, for dollars back and forth. You can trade back and forth. You can actually try to make money doing it. There's all kinds of things you can do. Now, Libra is different because Libra is not a same type of cryptocurrency as like Bitcoin and everything like that. It's not blockchain based that we've seen yet. The code is very rough. It's very new still. But when this comes out, basically, no one really knows how Facebook is going to implement it yet, but the most likely way they're going to implement it is they're going to possibly reward users with Libra for contributing content, posting comments, things like that. You might be able to earn Libra currency by being a part of the Facebook platform. You might be able to make money online by doing things on Facebook that you were going to normally do somewhere else anyway. So it's a way for them to maintain a hold on content. It also allows you to send payments to people. If Libra can be easily converted to and from US dollars, and I want to pay you for something from a Facebook buy-sell trade group, I can pay you in Libra. I know that the money is good because I can exchange it with Facebook, and Facebook will put US dollars in my bank account. And it's like a whole, this could render PayPal dead. I mean, not quickly, mind you, but the big concern here is there is no bank involved. There is no intermediary. Facebook is the bank. Facebook is not regulated as a bank, but this is not they're not dealing with dollars. Are they money changers? Are they not? Is this a cryptocurrency? Is it a token? What is this? So first off, China freaked out about this because if Libra takes hold, that would allow people in China to exchange, to purchase Libra with their yuan and exchange it for dollars. It would allow capital flight from the country. It's all well and good when you can devalue your own currency like China does. Today the yuan was, one yuan was the equivalent of like 7 cents or whatever. And then tomorrow, 1 yuan is the equivalent of 3 cents. Okay. So we just devalued the money. We cut the value in half. Your money goes half as far as it used to now. And China can do that to its citizens willy-nilly because it controls everything. Unless you allow people to take their money out of the yuan and put it into something else that can't be devalued. That's why Bitcoin is illegal in China, because it allows you to take the wealth that you've accumulated in China and remove it from the Chinese system and keep it. Yay, communism be darned. So Libra is going to be interesting. If you have the opportunity to grab some Libra, I don't know if Libra is going to appreciate like other cryptocurrencies do, where like a Bitcoin was worth $4,000 a month ago. Now it's worth $13,000, right? $12,000. So is it going to cycle and appreciate like that, or is it going to be what's called a stable coin, where they keep it pegged? 1 Libra is equal to 1 US dollar. Nobody really knows yet, but when the time comes, it wouldn't be a bad idea for you to take $5 out of your wallet and grab yourself some Libra, or make a few Facebook posts and make yourself some Libra. Also, I'm very pleased to announce, speaking of this, I'm going to see if I can pull this up. Facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. We have top fans. Yes, we do. We have new top fans. And the first time it said, you have new top fans. And I thought, wow, we have top fans. I want to see who the top fans are so I can congratulate them on the radio show. And then I clicked on the link to say who my new top fans were. And it said you have no top fans. I'm like, wait a minute, did we lose our top fans? Like, what? Did we have them and we lost them? I don't understand what happened. So basically, it's kind of funny, but we do have new top fans. So lovely Kimberly, if you can find them faster than me on your phone, let me know. All right. And I'm looking for top fans. I'm looking for the alert that says you have new top fans, because then it takes you to a list of who everybody is. But the lovely Kimberly is faster because this stuff is all optimized for phones now and not computers. I should be looking at just my phone here. All right, I'm going to scroll really fast, and then I'm going to search for fans. I don't see it. So we're going to scroll further back. We're on June 10th. All right, and I still don't see it. Darn it, I want to know who our top fans are so that I can say thank you. Let's see. Well, I don't know. So whoever our top fans are, thank you for being our top fans. And lovely Kimberly, if you can figure that out, let me know. Oh, Lee and Danny are our top fans. So that's awesome. You get a special little badge when you post a comment on Schrock Innovations, the Facebook page, or during the show. You get a special little icon that says you're a top fan. So you might ask yourself, how can you become a top fan of Schrock Innovations? And the answer is, I have no clue. We don't get to pick them. Facebook picks them automatically. So let's do a Google search, how to become a top fan. One of our former employees is a big King of the Hill fan. If you don't know what King of the Hill is, you have to Google. That's a cartoon. It's a man-child cartoon, okay? Somewhat funny at times back in the day. And so he worked his tail off. And when he became a top fan of the King of the Hill fan page, oh my gosh, he was proclaiming it from the Robert was proclaiming it from the mountaintops. All right, so how to become the top fan of a page on Facebook. Long story short, the only known way to get top fan and other badges is to interact with that page as much as you can with comments, likes, and shares. There you go. There is no formula because it differs with each page follower number and interaction coefficient according to the page's own activity. Because page admins can't give out badges, yet we can take them away. Ha-ha, be good. Only Facebook can give the badges. So you have to be active there. You have to choose see first on that page's follow so that you won't miss any posts from them. Interact with their post. Throw more likes. I'm looking at all the hearts and the thumbs up flying up the screen right now. It's like a competition. Throw more likes and reactions on posts. Comment. Give out your opinion and contact and share their content if you can. That's all. Then just wait till next Wednesday for the weekly update and you'll probably get it. By the way, badges are not permanent. If you don't keep being active, you may lose your badge in the next week's calculation, so you just don't know. So apparently only so many top fan statuses are given out based on how many active fans we have. So that's interesting to know. Again, this is a way for Facebook to keep you guys interacting. So if you want a top fan badge, all you have to do is, yes, keep doing that continuously all show long, just laughing, thumbs up and heart and angry face. There you go. There's some more of them. just hit them all, right? Post comments, the whole bit. All right, but one of the biggest ones, honestly, is shares, guys. Sharing the posts on Facebook are honestly one of the biggest things you can do. In fact, sneak peek, I am going to be emailing you all tonight, all of you who have voted for Schrock Innovations. Let's see, end of comments on the upcoming cell phone, and I'm interested in information on. Hold on a second. I saw somebody's question here. How do I watch your earlier show if I got up late? Oh, okay. So what will happen is once we finish a show, it takes a few minutes, but then the show will be posted to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations as a stored video, and they are archived going back. If for whatever reason you can't find it there, on Monday, Mark in the Omaha Service Center at the Schrock Interactive team will take that video and post it to the Schrock Innovations website, where you can watch the archive shows. You can listen to the archive shows if you'd rather just listen to the audio. It'll become available on all the podcasts and everything. We also post it to YouTube, so it goes all over the place. You can find it everywhere, but the fastest place is going to be about 5 minutes after the show ends. It'll be auto-posted to Facebook. All right, so yeah, the biggest thing you can do is share the shows, things like that, but I will not cheat by making more comments. I don't know, maybe is there a spam comment? I don't know, you don't want to get blocked, right? All right, so one of the things tonight we're going to do here is the instructions one last time on how to vote for us in the Best of Omaha competition and how to send me your vote, basically. Once you've done that, I'm going to send everybody an email tonight asking them to do one thing to gain an extra entry in the competition. We are going to ask you to share the post about the laptop, right? I know that seems counterintuitive because by sharing the post, you are therefore involving more people in the contest, which may actually lower your chances of winning, right? Here's the thing. You guys are going to have the best chance of winning of anyone ever because every single week there's going to be a new thing you can do to gain an entry. And the only people who are going to get that are going to be people who have already entered, right? So if you do each thing, you're going to have like, 6, 8 opportunities to win this laptop. It's going to be pretty cool. So the one thing we're going to have you do is I want you to share the original post at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations that said you can. It's a picture that says you can win this laptop. I want you to click the share button and share that to your timeline. And I'll see the report of everyone who shared it, and that will gain you an extra entry into the competition. Of course, you will only get the extra entry if you have first voted for Schrock Innovations in the Best of Omaha competition and forwarded me your proof of voting certificate. You will know that I've received your certificate tonight when you get an email back from me instructing you how to get an additional entry by going and sharing the post on Facebook. There will be other things that we ask you to do going forward. Some of them are going to be super, super stupid easy, like sharing a Facebook post. And some people will get ticked off at me because they'll say, I don't do Facebook. I don't get the entry. That's right. If you don't do Facebook, you don't get the entry. I'm sorry. But we're going to be asking people to do other things. If you don't have accounts at Yelp and Google, I would suggest you get them because it'll make life easier later for you, especially Yelp. But we're going to ask you to write some reviews and do some things like that to gain extra entries. Don't do it yet because I won't be able to track it, okay? But the one thing you can do now is you can go and share that post. And then that will get you an entry in. And then tonight you'll get the email that lets you know, hey, I've got your proof of voting certificate. If for some reason you don't get an email from me by tomorrow morning, because I'm going to be sending them individually this evening. If you don't get one from me, that means I don't have your proof of voting certificate, which means you need to send it to me again and then confirm that I got it. Okay? All right. Last call for questions. Keith is in the bathtub chilling. Okay. Everybody's posting all kinds of cool stuff. There we go. I honestly don't know, guys, what gets the top fan thing better. This is a Quora post, and this is from June 12th. So that was pretty recent. How do I become Game Revolution? How do I become a top Facebook fan? Okay, how to do it. Scrolling down through all the ads. Oh my gosh, there's so many ads I can't even read the content. Why is my ad blocker not picking these up? Interact with new posts early and often. That means liking, commenting, and sharing everything you see, which is, fair warning, might alienate you from your friends. Even then, people could be doing it just as much as you, so don't feel left out if you aren't up there with the best bootlickers. I love it. Unfortunately, top fan status isn't achievable for every Facebook page. There are some pages where no matter what, you cannot become a top fan no matter how hard you try. But we've proven that people can be top fans of our page now. A page has to have over 10,000 followers before it can give out badges. Oh, so we can give out badges, but we have to have over 10,000 followers. We're right around 2,600 almost right now. So we have a little ways to go before we get to 10,000. Also, if an admin wishes, they can turn off the feature. How to get the badge. You'll be given a badge as soon as you become a top fan. You'll find it next to your name when you comment. Be sure to show it off with pride because, let's face it, everyone else is, and you want to fit in on the internet, don't you? I'm just saying, if you have a top fan badge and you're commenting on show stuff and everything, it's like you're officially like part of the show. I mean, you're going to get singled out. You're going to be part of the show. It's just going to happen. So if you want that, go for it. If you don't, don't. But Keith really, 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 really thinks he's a cool, strong sheep. What is that, a lumberjack with an axe? What, a golfer? I have no idea what that is, Keith. But anyway, all right, last call for questions, guys. Let's see, what else do I have? Anything else here? Let's restore that one. Well, that's something I wanted to read, the latest rumors for the Note 10. I just want to know if it has 5G. because I'm rocking a Note 8 still, and I'm starting to get when my screen is, you know how you can turn on your phone's flashlight, it turns on the LED, or you can turn on just the screen light to all bright white. So at night, if you turn on that big LED at night when you're going into like a dark bedroom, and your spouse is like, "Oh God, make it stop! It's an abduction," I don't want. I'll never tell. Or you can just turn on the phone to be an all white screen, so you can kind of hold it like that Star Trek palm light, and it gives you enough light to see what's going on. Well, when I turn that on my phone, I can see the outline of where my keys on my texting keyboard are. I've got screen burn-in starting to happen. I'm like, come on, I don't want a screen burn-in. So anyway, yeah, you can check your phones now if you want. See if you have screen burn-in too. But I'm waiting to see, because I don't want to buy a new phone unless it's got the 5G radio in it. So I'm hoping the Note 10 will have that. I don't know that it will or not. All right, so those are all my stories, guys. Let's check and see if there's any follow-up questions here. Anything? My computer is being slow. Okay. I'm sorry, Keith. If only there was someone who could fix that for you. If only. We had a customer that came in this week for a preventative maintenance checkup. He was due for his 6-month checkup. He got the reminder email, came in for the checkup, said, "It's working fine, it's just a little slow." So the guys get it up on the bench, and they're saying, "Heck yeah, it's a little slow. This thing's like tortoise slow." And it's because he's got a mechanical hard drive, and he needs to upgrade to a solid-state hard drive. And they tell him that, and "I don't want to do that right now." Okay, no problem. Our job is to give you options. Your job is to pick the option that's right for you. That's what we do. So we send it back out the door, and then like the next day he calls and he's super upset. "I just got this back from a maintenance checkup and it's still slow." And we're like, "Yeah, you told us not to fix it. We told you what had to happen, and that's what's got to happen." "Well, it wasn't slow before the latest Windows 10 upgrade." Yeah, each successive upgrade does more with your computer, making it slower if you don't increase your hardware. A little more memory, but the biggest thing, memory is great, but that solid state hard drive is where you want to put your money first, because that's going to get you way, way, way the biggest bang for your buck. We're talking about making your computer faster than it was the day you bought it with that one upgrade, as opposed to a memory upgrade, which will make your computer incrementally faster or incrementally quicker, which if you have less than 4 gigs of RAM, you need a memory upgrade. If you have 4 gigs, you could go either way. 8 gigs or more, you're good right now. So that's the big thing is, you need this he brought the computer back in, and under warranty we checked it in, and we're checking, and the guys are showing me, "Thor, look at the task manager. Hard drive activity at rest is at 56%. At rest." Yeah, it's doing too much and the hard drive he has is a mechanical hard drive. It's not even the fast 7200 RPM mechanical drive. HP gave him a 5400 RPM hard drive in there to save money. So it's a slow mechanical hard drive too. So it's not even like, so most Windows 10 users wouldn't notice this kind of a slowdown, but because his hard drive is 25% slower than the average slow hard drive, he's definitely noticing it. And the guys are like, we could offer him a cost compromise of like upgrading him from the 5400 to a 7200 rotating drive. It'd be like $50 cheaper, but it's $50 to get the drive that's, why would you do that? I guess unless you just don't have the $50, but boy, find the $50 somewhere, because it doesn't make sense to spend, $200 to get a 25% faster hard drive when $250 gets you a hard drive that's as fast can be. That makes a lot of sense. He didn't do the upgrade. He ended up taking it back home again. We turned off any software we could turn off. We removed anything we could remove. We stopped things from loading that were already loading automatically to try to trim, milliseconds from his startup time, milliseconds, or milliseconds from response times. When he hits start, he has to wait 2 or 3 seconds for it to open. And we made it as fast as we could make it. We tuned it as best as we could tune it. That's all the maintenance checkup can do. At some point, you do have to upgrade. If you have a moped and you can't keep up with the Harley, at some point you have to put a bigger engine on the road, and that's just what he had to do. He decided the time wasn't right. That's our job, guys. Our job is to give you options, to tell you what's what, and then let you make the decision that's best for you. But it is frustrating when they come back in under warranty because they're upset with us because the computer is still slow. We told you why it was slow, and you told us not to fix it, and then you said it's still slow. Of course it's still slow. You told us not to fix it. But, of course, perfectly pleasant, because that's what we do. and we checked it in, and we found a way to shave a few more milliseconds off for him, but that's the best we can get. All right, I don't see any other questions popping up here, guys, so if that's it for today, Deborah. All right, guys, have a great afternoon. If you want to try to get your top commenter status, but remember, sharing posts is the easiest way to do it. Also, commenting, you can go back through all of our photos that we have, things like that. Post comments on old posts. That'll count too, I'm sure. But comment away. I'll try to keep up with you throughout the afternoon, and we'll talk to you again here next weekend. Thanks for joining us, guys, and have a great week.